Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Beef Mr. Ryan, and I am fucking miserable right now with an ear infection. I'm not even going to try to be funny. Welcome to the Two Schmoes Show. Sorry, I forgot to lead into my co-host. My apologies.
I'm Cairo, and I'm also a schmo.
Can you tell I'm kind of just in like a terrible mood after a week of ear infections?
It's been a shit week.
It's been a shit week. The heat wave is hitting my apartment right now, and it is hell on earth. Because do you remember like when you visited my apartment, like how it's just kind of like a small little box?
Hmm?
Yeah, like I don't think my apartment's terrible or anything like that. We don't ventilate easily, so when the heat gets in here, we don't get rid of it easily. Fucking sucks.
I totally get that. That has absolutely been one of the biggest benefits of the way that my new place is laid out, where I have like sliders on one end, and opposite that is my garage.
Yeah,
So I can just open the garage, and it's like a wind tunnel.
that's funny actually.
It's crazy how simple it is, and how that's not the standard of just how places are built. It would just save so much energy.
One day when I invest enough SpaceX stock and I can make Elon do whatever I want as like majority owner, I will be able to afford a house like that. That day is not today.
I guess that's as good a place to start as any, right?
Yeah, I gave you the layup.
What is it trading at? Yeah, it's basically exactly what it has been. The great chart, Google. Thank you. If you go to the maximum time for SpaceX on just the Google search, it just gives you 3 data points, which, you know, I guess that's fair, but come on.
You know, I've seen my fair share of like Wall Street rug pull evaluations, right? Like I try to learn a little bit about the market here and there. I didn't expect the SpaceX one to be as fast as it was.
I mean, so the whole thing is weird in a lot of different ways. It started so high that I think the only reason it hasn't gone down more is because there's just so many people holding this that don't want to sell because they just don't want to lose more money.
Oh yeah, no, it is literally just that. I agree with you. Woohoo.
Right now, it is at what $7 below what it initially offered at. So anybody who bought it right off the bat is out $7 a share right now. So it makes sense that they're not going to sell. But it is weird that the stock dipped back down to a baseline at all.
I agree. I think it's interesting how fast it just went back down to that baseline when, I don't know, if it was like so hot and contested right now, you think there would be that urge to buy it. But like,
Exactly.
people who wanted it, right, got in right on day one. No one came back for it. No one asked for seconds, which I think is absolutely damning.
Yeah, we've already very clearly seen that the price has a ceiling.
Yeah.
And that ceiling is at least, or at most right now, about $200. People don't want it when it's that expensive. And it paints a pretty damning picture for the future of basically all of these companies. If people aren't willing to buy stocks in these companies at those prices, they clearly broadly don't believe that they're going to continue to do that.
Yeah. Like, I'm looking at Tesla. Tesla's having a much better time than fucking SpaceX.
It's so spiky though.
No, it really is though. Like, okay, so you go to like Tesla's 1 year, you can kind of see the point where Doge was really kicking in for Tesla as like a project. And then you see like 2024, they're teetering around like the $100 to $200 range per share. So like, as much as I hate to admit it, Tesla actually did. Doge actually did something for someone.
I do wonder if that's way after that. That was spike in September. I'd have to look that up because I don't know what that spike in September is about.
Okay, I guess I should say, in my opinion, it wouldn't surprise me if that was like for something related to Doge. It's like I can imagine stuff from Fed taking a moment to hit.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I would not like to hold on to a stock that is this volatile. I'll say that.
No, but that's the thing. You don't hang on to Tesla because it grows. You hang on to it for the meme. And then once it like spikes, you sell.
I don't know, do you?
I don't know, to be frank.
Because I guarantee you the types of online communities that popularize the meme stock stuff would say that you don't sell.
Well, yeah, but that's also because they're a little thing I like to call reckless.
Yeah, I would say idiots, but yes.
I want to be nice. I want to be very nice. Yeah. I am wanting to kill something right now because my goddamn ear. So please let me be nice when I can.
Yeah, I do. I think I mentioned this to you the other day about how it feels like even though, you know, I see memes and stuff about how Elon has lost the most amount of money in a single day that anybody has, blah, 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 that kind of crap. No longer the world's first trillionaire. I still feel like as a society, we're kind of losing.
Well, yeah, right? I mean, like, as a society, I think we're just overinflated right now. Like, nothing actually means what you say. We're lying.
Well, yes. Yeah. I mean more fundamentally than that, though.
Okay. Yeah, go on.
Where is SpaceX being traded? Is it NASDAQ? SpaceX stock price? It's NASDAQ. That they allowed SpaceX to go on the stock market at all is a damning indictment to me of the stock market as a whole. Everybody knew that SpaceX is probably going to behave similarly to Tesla has, which is to say it's going to behave as in whatever way the whims of the people who are more interested in the culture around Elon Musk than the actual companies themselves. Mm-hmm. And that shouldn't be on the stock market, but it is. And it seems kind of obvious at this point that we're probably going to continue to see this. I wouldn't be surprised if we see at least OpenAI try to do an initial offering at some point this year. If they don't, that's a pretty clear sign of how fucked they are financially.
Yeah.
Which we already know. But like that would be them just throwing in the towel as far as I'm concerned. So if we see OpenAI, maybe Anthropic start to have publicly traded stocks, we're going to see more of this kind of behavior where it's extremely volatile. It's more based on the zeitgeist of what's happened in the last 24 hours rather than people trying to think about what is this going to be worth in 20 years. And that's an element to it that I think is important. Having the stock market be forward-looking rather than a fully reactive thing is a lot healthier. It's more stable. It allows for a degree of insulation for these companies where sure, you can have SpaceX trading at $150 a share, but it shouldn't be doing that because it's the most popular and hottest thing on the stock market. There should still be all of the other things maintaining more of a traditional growth kind of aspect. And I worry that now that that floodgate is opened, that there's not really a good way to salvage it. Mm-hmm. You know, you let SpaceX go on the stock market. Why not this other thing or something else? Or, you know, say you're fucking pulling up the same things. You say you're Apple, right? What's to stop people from treating Apple the same way? Hyper reactive, not based on the actual things that the company is doing, but rather the hype that they're trying to build. It's very weird.
Kind of fun looking.
I guess
at
maybe it
all the
doesn't.
tech
Maybe the AI bubble pops, and all of this turns out that it was in fact some smoke and mirrors. I guess maybe that's the alternative, right?
You know, I really enjoy looking at all these consumer tech companies, and like as soon as Ramageddon starts, you can see all of them get hit immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, how silly. So, that being said, I'm going to take the show out for an IPO. I'm thinking about asking investors for about like 50 cents per stock.
How many stocks?
How many stocks are we selling?
Yeah, how many shares?
How many shares? Let's see. We're going to do about $1 trillion.
I think that seems about right.
So $1 trillion shares, all valued at 50 cents. Literally, we can go nowhere else but up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So keep in mind, everybody, we have very low cost margins. We have nothing but infinite profit. And as soon as you try buying a whole bunch of stocks, I will sell my secret stash of stocks that I already gave to myself ahead of time. So get fucked. I wonder if this is a good time to invest in penny stocks.
I just opened up a CNN article, and apparently extreme fear is driving the U.S. market right now. So do with that what you will.
What's the old adage about extreme fear versus...
The stock market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
All I'm hearing is time to invest in penny stocks.
Where would you like to go next? I
don't feel like there's been much, though. That's the thing. We took a break, and like not much has happened. Like the stock market's the only thing that I think has been really newsworthy, because like SpaceX, there's kind of exemplified everything wrong with it.
I do think that that's probably one of the more mainstream ones. Against my better judgment and my health, I have been trying to keep track of what the fuck is going on in the Strait of Hormuz, and
I'm so sorry for yours. Thank you for your service.
Seems like it's technically, the whole thing's so dumb. I just hate that words don't mean anything anymore, you know?
Like I said, everything's about lying nowadays.
Where was the one that I saw? I did. Yeah. This is really stupid, but the president has repeatedly claimed that Iran's military capabilities were totally destroyed. So I feel obligated to rhetorically ask what the U.S. is shooting at and retaliating to if Iran has no military anymore. Why does anyone indulge such transparent lies at all? Yeah. So through this week, shipping did briefly pick up in the Strait of Hormuz. On average, there used to be like 150 ships that would go through it daily. At the peak this week on Wednesday, they saw 73, and that was up from Where's the other one? About 30 on Tuesday, which is up from about like 10 that has been happening in the days and weeks before. So it's like technically correct that ships are navigating it, but Iran is still striking some of them. There is at least 2 ships that were struck this week. Iran is also still launching missile and drone attacks at U.S. bases in the Middle East. I believe in particular, I heard Kuwait and Bahrain bases were struck, which is what was mentioned there because the U.S. then retaliated against those to try and destroy the sites that those missiles and drones came from. But it sure doesn't seem great for the future of the ceasefire stuff. And this is kind of like what we've been saying the whole time, right? That they're going to keep this weird status quo of something in the middle that doesn't actually fix anything because everybody involved kind of sucks and doesn't know what they're doing. And we're just going to be kind of stuck here.
Yeah, we're stuck here for at least 3 years.
Yep. But it's okay because it's shorter than Vietnam, right? It's shorter than Vietnam.
You think they'll draft like Vietnam? They don't have the balls. They don't have the balls to do that.
I don't know. I just at this point, it's all so dumb.
Oh, it's incredibly dumb. My heart goes out to everybody in service right now who has to put up with all this stupidity. Like, imagine just having to deal with this, like, as your job.
Yeah. Yeah. CNN has a reporting on this, says there's been at least 46 strikes and 14 deaths on vessels because of this stupidity. And yeah, trying to deal with this stuff and have the stakes not be like, is it going to get where it's going to go on time? But instead, are the people on the ship that I'm trying to coordinate going to make it to their destination alive? Is just stupid.
Just like this fucking ear infection. Hell yeah.
According to Sam Manders, president of Flexport Global Shipping Logistics Company, the ships transiting Hormuz this week are still mostly Iranian flagged and some Taiwanese evergreen ships. The major global carriers haven't returned yet, so it's closer to status quo than a real shift to what would be necessary to stop oil prices from spiraling again.
You know, could you actually imagine being like the actual workers at the Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, I mean, it all sucks, right?
Yeah. Like the actual people who are just supposed to guide the ships through, you know, navigate, make sure they don't hit rocks.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it also crazy? Let me see if I can find this. Barrel prices are down, of course. But wouldn't you know it, the average price of gas is still $3.86 in the US.
Bullshit, I paid $4.10 the other day.
Yeah, we're at $4.09 in Michigan.
God damn it.
I don't know. It's weird, right? I feel like that to me is a stronger indicator than what the actual per barrel price is at now. Because, I don't know, maybe, did you hear what Trump possibly accidentally said this week?
No, what did he possibly accidentally say this time?
Well, apparently we only have 4 weeks of oil reserves left.
So do you think this is the end of Donnie as we know him?
I think we're past that point.
You think so?
You look back at any of his prior speeches, if he actually had to go and debate someone, it would be like the Biden debate, but twice as bad. Because Biden froze up, of course, but Trump is just like, he's slurring his words, he's talking nonsense, he doesn't have any energy anymore. He's a shell. He's a shell of himself. Probably for the better, honestly, but
I can't, I don't like the guy. Don't get me wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a part of me, I think this is a very religious and very pure part of me that finds some pity in this bastard, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was actually talking with someone about that with Vance's wife.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
There is a part of me that feels so bad for Donnie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can't help, I would never do anything to change this, because it is kind of like a reap what you sow kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. But there is a part of me that never wished this for him.
Yep. I totally agree with that, because these are obviously, I would consider them to be evil people who have gotten to the positions they are based on their own actions, but I probably to a fault try to look at the greater conditions that put us to where we are, that have caused people to become the people that they are, and I feel bad for them that they had the culmination of circumstances that led to them being such a gigantic piece of shit.
Yeah. I feel like to some degree I understand these people a little bit. And in those regards, I can look at them and I look at I can see what would make I'm choosing my words very fucking carefully, if you can't tell. I have an estimation of what I think would have been a better life for them, one that would have been so much easier to obtain, and they'd probably be a lot happier. And I can't help but see the mechanism of their own actions that took them further and further away from that. It is absolutely tragic. And on a pure human-to-human basis, I feel pity. It makes me just kind of realize, everybody at home, I don't give a fuck what you think about the current administration. Just learn from them. Right? This is not a good life. They should be at home dealing with a fucking ear infection. I'm so fucking bitter. Donald Trump will never understand the ear pain I'm feeling right now.
I don't know. You seen that dude's hands? He's dealing with something.
I'm making a joke about the scar that he's got on one of his ears.
Yeah.
Do we still not have a good understanding of what those fucking amorphous blobs on his hands are?
Nope. I mean, officially no. Personally, I'm pretty convicted in my assumption of them being repeated damage from an IV.
I did see a little rumor that people got photos of close up of his hands and seen what may have been diabetes pricks, or testing blood sugar. That would not surprise me.
Did you see the news going around of the FDA apparently gave an emergency authorization to some major pharmaceutical company to give an emergency approval to use some unknown, unapproved drug for weight loss, I want to say?
I did hear about this. I did not know how much I want to believe that. Seems way too good to be true.
Oh yeah, I agree. And this is also the kind of thing that isn't that uncommon.
Yeah.
So it almost certainly was somebody else, but it is very funny to think of.
Who do you think it could have been if not for the president?
Well, so usually these would be the kinds of things where it's like, I'm a person with cancer or some other extremely debilitating condition.
Yep.
Where if I don't do it, like conventional things haven't worked. If I don't do anything, I'm going to die. So I would like to try this experimental drug because what do I have to lose?
I see you.
That and rich people.
Yeah.
So with that, I guess I'd like to talk about Texas in particular first, and then we can get to some of the relatively lighter news.
I knew we were going to do this. So sad.
So, might have pushed there. That's okay. It's not the end of the world. So, this week, it was announced that the sentencing for how many of is this? Before I get into this, actually, first a quick shout out to Lex McMenahan with The Guardian. Did a just excellent piece of journalism covering the anti-ICE protesters in Pearland, Texas, that were arrested quite a few months ago and had their sentencing come down this week. The whole piece is really well explored, really well framed, I feel like, showing the actual images of some of the evidence files that were included in this case, and does a really good job through that of showing just how absurd so much of this in reality is. So with that, I want to say 6 of the protesters that were arrested have so far been sentenced, and I should probably find the specifics here. Let me see if I can find the charges real quick. Because the big news of this is that, oh my God, okay. Yeah. Is that the federal government decided that they wanted to charge this group under terrorism statutes specifically.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Could it be domestic terrorism?
It doesn't really make a difference.
Okay.
As far as the law looks at it, yeah. Zachary Everts, Autumn Hill, Savannah Batten, Elizabeth Soto, and Megan Morris were sentenced to 50 years in prison. Maricela Reda was sentenced to 70. And what's her name? Benjamin Song was given 100. Song was convicted of attempted murder of an officer of the United States, as well as firearms and explosive charges. He was also convicted of riot, providing material support to terrorists. Of riot and providing material support to terrorist charges. The most damning of these, though, that I don't believe this particular article has, I'm going to go back to here and do a quick look for the particular one that I'm looking for, is that Daniel Sanchez Estrada, who is the husband of Maricela Rueda, who was charged to 50 years, was sentenced to 30 years for corruptly concealing a document or record and conspiracy to conceal documents in furtherance of this terrorist plot, because they have a printing press that they make anarchist zines with, little pamphlets and magazines, and they apparently took down posters inside his house before the police arrived, and that's worth 30 years in jail,
apparently.
The whole thing is really fucked up, really gross. These people are obviously, very, very obviously not fucking terrorists. The entire thing is, to get on a soapbox for a little bit, a very obvious attempt by the federal government to try and establish the narrative of of Antifa is a terrorist group, even though it's not a group at all, let alone one that is espousing terrorism. The whole thing is very, very obvious, and it is telling that they had to go to the Florida district that they did in order to get this sentence. Yeah, it's chilling, right?
Yeah, it feels like they're being made an example out of, which like
they explicitly are. Is the thing.
Yeah.
The judge said that.
The judge said that?
Yes. Let me see if I can find this.
Oh my god, that's funny. It's terrible. It's terrible, but it's funny.
The judge involved in this is Reed O'Connor, who is a regular piece of shit that you see coming up in the news when you look for these, when you follow these kinds of cases. Texas in general is rife with this kinds of thing, jurisdiction shopping to find the most amenable justices for the federal government. This article doesn't have it. Let me double check. No. Anyways, I don't know. It doesn't fucking matter. The judge did explicitly say it in sentencing that he hoped that this would be an example for people to not do it in the future. Just complete bullshit, top to bottom.
It needs to look good on a transcript.
There's a lot of other elements of this that are also really gross in their own rights, like the protesters being held in jails hundreds of miles apart from each other. For a couple of these people who are trans women being kept in men-only prisons. There's a lot of elements to it, and none of it is good. Having this come down on the same week as the next one that we're going to be talking about here, the New York Democratic primary elections, is especially fascinating as a moment in where the country is today. Where you have people being arrested and charged to, effectively life sentences over nothing for having, thought crime kind of stuff happening.
Yes.
And then on the other side of the country, you have people winning elections for espousing those same principles.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride. Got a couple more days. So yeah, in New York, let's see here. A number of Democratic Socialist candidates who were supported by the mayor of New York, Zohran Mamdani, won their Democratic primaries, in particular against a number of current incumbent candidates. So Brad Landers, who I know we talked about during the New York mayoral election, he was one of the other leading candidates alongside Mamdani, who bowed out after the primary. He won the 10th District of New York against the incumbent Dan Goldman, I believe.
Okay.
Claire Valdez won the 7th District, and Daraliza Avila Chevalier won the 13th. So this is going to be, it is already a fascinating moment where we have expressed further left candidates who have won primary elections, who are, without question, the Democratic candidates for the party in these seats for the upcoming elections in November. It is been like a microcosm of everything we saw after Mamdani won, turned up to 11 now, because you have all of these people currently sitting in Congress who saw Mamdani win and kind of sneered at it as like oh, that's not the right way to do things kind of way, now realizing that they themselves are the ones who will be on the chopping block. They are shitting themselves.
I really don't think they expected Mom Dying to have like the momentum that he's been like doing a domino effect, really.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy? He's been doing his job.
Shush. There's no job in politics. There's only thoughts and prayers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nothing else. Shush.
There is a particularly emblematic statement that was put out by Jamie Harrison, former party chair for the Democratic Party and longtime politician. Was the chair of the DNC from 2021 to 2025. He posted on Blue Sky, I say this with no ill will or animosity. If you hate the Democratic Party, then please don't run for our nomination. Don't use our resources. Don't rely on our volunteers. Don't use our infrastructure. Don't ask Democrats to invest time, money, and energy in your campaign.
That is damning. That is upsetting. That is so fucking funny.
He is so mad. And it's especially funny for the whole don't rely on our volunteers thing. Like, I'm sorry, dude. We didn't. None of these people did. They organized in their communities with members of their communities and were out there doing the fucking work, which is something that so many of these establishment centrist cowards have either forgotten how to do or never wanted to do in the first place. And there's clearly this idea amongst so much in the Senate of these positions being basically for life. If you win it once, you get to do it for as long as you want, unless a Republican beats you.
I was about to say, everybody wants to be an Elizabeth Warren. Go on, my apologies.
Yes. And the fact that they no longer have that now, I think they're genuinely scared. They're worried that not only of like their personal well-being, but they like the place where the Democratic Party is, where it gets to be this enlightened centrist that never gets its hands dirty because it never actually takes a stance. And they're worried that in order to actually win an election again, they're going to have morals, and they don't have those anymore.
I don't know about you. I'm sorry, Kyril, but I famously remember one politician with morals when I saw Nancy Pelosi show up in African garb to do like a fucking what was that stupid fucking thing she did? You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do. I know exactly what you're talking about. I have no fucking idea what she was actually trying to do.
Yeah, let me see if I can pull this up, because I am still pissed over that. The African kneel. Okay, what were... I get a BBC article on it. Why were U.S. Democrats wearing Ghana's Kent cloth? I may be mispronouncing that.
I think you got it.
Okay. When U.S. Democrats in Congress proposed legislation to reform the police following weeks over a protest over the death of an African-American George Floyd at the hands of a white officer. That is... No.
That's worse than I remembered.
I'm upset now. I should not be upset reading a 6-year-old article like that. By the way, George Floyd was 6 years ago and nothing has changed. Holy fuck.
Mm-hmm. Right? Oh my god. Well, so that's the thing though. Things have changed. I think that's a really important point that I've started to see people who are actually like the person that Jamie Harrison is very quietly deriding here, the people who are actually volunteering their time to do this shit. I've seen them start to take much more vocal stances on the ground. There's a couple of people, particularly in Minnesota and in Colorado, that I have ended up following that do a really good job talking about what they actually do. What does it mean to be on the ground and go to these party meetings and stuff and figure out what is the pulse of the potential Democratic voters. And the establishment is so far off. I will put a spotlight here on Courtney Milan. She's a writer, an author, to be clear. She writes fiction books, and a good one. And she also does a lot of canvassing in Colorado. And she has a great response to Harrison's shitty shitty little post saying, I went to the Democratic caucus in Pueblo, Colorado this year, a party faithful event that is so arcane, people don't even know it happens and exists. These are the people who knock doors. These are the volunteers. So many of them were upset with the Democratic Party. And she goes on to correctly point out that at this caucus, they asked them, the party faithful, if they should add abolish ICE language to the Colorado Democratic Party platform. It passed with 98% approval. 98. People are overwhelmingly tired of the kind of political games that happen in Congress, and then nothing continues to actually happen as a result. And they're making that heard by putting real weight behind these non-incumbent candidates.
I'm very curious because, like, I think it's been no secret. This is kind of like a both side isms. It's kind of why the Republicans fucking love Donnie, because he's a good fall guy for them to just sit on their ass. Do you ever think the GOP will get a shot in the arm like this?
It's a tricky one.
Yeah, because, like, I think they're in just a terrible spot right now because Golden Boy Donnie ended up becoming a little too golden, and now none of them know how to do their fucking jobs.
Yeah, I think eventually, assuming another party doesn't take their place, right? And I think that's probably the most likely thing that happens. I think eventually we see a legitimate schism happening between the literal neo-Nazis and the not neo-Nazis. And that's probably going to be like a 40-10, or not a 40-10, excuse me, an 80-20 kind of split, with the 20 being the literal Nazi stuff, and the 80 being all the rest. But I feel like that is so much more likely now because the party today, for the conservatives, has become so much weaker under Trump. Right now, Trump, as the executive, as the president, has a ton of power that he is trying and largely failing to wield, but Congress has fuck all. They aren't doing basically anything. They passed this housing bill with overwhelming support from both parties, and Trump's just letting it languish on his desk for who fucking knows how long. It might just die there. So the fact that they have been willing to give up that much of their own legitimate power, to me, says that they don't know how to play this game anymore. That the people who did either already had morals and left the party 10 years ago, give or take, or have aged out and been replaced with these relative extremists. And they're going to be in a really shitty spot. And if they can't break their incumbencies, then they're going to continue to put these people into Congress. And anytime that they get a chance to do anything, they're going to do shitty work.
I do think it is one of those things where I don't think it is necessarily a coincidence that you see a lot of, like, the GOP's initiative, their spirit, their chutzpah, if you will, after Kissinger died.
Yeah.
Or Cheney, too. We could throw Cheney in there, under the bridge. Yeah. I think once you had, like, a lot of those big names that were pretty much, like, I don't know how to describe them. They're like the forebearers, I guess you'll say. Yeah.
Well, to me, the current Conservative Party has denigrated itself to the point now where there is not a person who has been elected who is running for re-election, I should put that caveat, that is not a complete sycophant for Trump. You have a handful of people like Tom Cotton who lost their primaries, or people who are retiring that are speaking from a position of I don't think I need to be elected again. And the fact that they are only doing it after that point really clearly shows where they think their constituents are coming from. They think that their constituents are still following the Trump line. And if their line is not the Trump line, it's a losing line. And that's going to self-select for a lot of people who are going to be bad at doing these jobs.
Yeah. I think Donnie's little war in Iran is effectively kind of shot down all his little sycophants at a time. Yeah.
If gas prices don't come down and stay down pretty soon here, I don't know what they're going to do.
They'll just invade the capital.
I think they're going to get really screwed on that because per barrel oil prices are back down to where they were at the start of the war, but gas prices aren't. So what the fuck are they going to do?
Raid the capital. That's like all they know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, okay, here's something I want to bring up, right? Genuinely shocked. No one from January 6th that was pardoned has ever tried to run for Congress yet.
Haven't they?
I don't believe so.
I'm pretty sure I have one off the top of my head.
Please educate me. Because I swear to God, it'd be so fucking funny if they said, send me back to DC. Send me back to DC. That'd be the funniest fucking line ever.
I'm not finding it quickly right now. I thought, I don't want to name the wrong ones here because that's like actually probably a crime.
Yeah.
I could have sworn there was a handful of people who were present at the January 6th riot who I think might have been charged and pled to lesser charges or never really had particularly serious charges in the first place kind of thing, who were then elected to House seats in the wake of that.
Okay. Then I'm wrong. No. Yeah, no, that's not the one I was thinking of. Anyways, regardless of that, we do know for a fact there's a number of members of Congress who were active participants in, you know, what's the word, fomenting that riot. There's videos of people being taken on tours the days and weeks beforehand, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So, mm-hmm. Before we go on to the next bit here, I want to quickly point out, once again, just so everybody remembers, you're not allowed to have trending topics of people's names when they're really old. So you can't just have Mel Brooks's name as a trending topic. Thankfully, he's not dead. This was his 100th birthday today. So happy birthday, Mel. But I got a bit of a panic there.
It was so funny. I knew exactly where you were going because I saw it earlier today, and I'm like, "Oh, Jackie's going to be so upset."
Yeah. So nope, we're good. We're in the clear on that one.
I feel like it should be an exception, but you need to like put in the trending like Mel Brooks 100.
Yes, just that. That's all you need.
Yeah, you don't need to be doing like just Mel Brooks.
Last piece that I want to talk about relatively briefly is the situation that has, I don't know if you can call it a situation. Bungie this week laid off hundreds of their staff and announced that Destiny 2 is basically dead. And beyond that, that Bungie more or less does not have anything that they are currently working on.
I think for our generation, right?
Yeah.
For this upper Gen Z, lower millennials generation, there is very few gamers who are impacted by Bungie, and hearing this news makes me very upset.
It fucking sucks.
It really
and the
does.
worst part of it for me is that we know the leader, like when a company as massive as Bungie, right? Sony pumped what, like $1 billion into them.
Yeah.
Their executives and their leadership teams have massive salaries, and they have nothing, literally nothing to show for it today. There's no Destiny 3. There's no, what is the future of Marathon going to look like? They don't have, this is the next project that we're exploring to maybe release in 5 or 6 years. They have fuck all. And not a single one of these failed leadership members has lost their jobs. It is exclusively the people working beneath them.
Yeah. If they're so fucking good, why don't they just go start their own studio? Huh?
So, the whole thing fucking sucks.
It really does suck. I kind of acknowledge the Bungie that I knew is no longer there. I'm guessing at this point, the Bungie that you knew is no longer there either. So, like, it is this weird, just like, it's a name that is just monetarily advantageous to have under your ownership. More
Pretty
than
much.
anything. Yeah.
Like, what does Bungie mean at this point, right?
Yeah.
Because when Sony picked up Bungie with all this exclusive stuff, that was the people who made Halo. It was the people who are making Destiny and the people who are gonna make the next Marathon game. There's massive amounts of sway there, and they have none of that now. And they don't have anything to even potentially replace it to go on the horizon.
Sony is in such a bad spot, and this has just sent them deeper and deeper and deeper. Because, like, if you can make a fucking pedigree name like Bungie go down, that really says a lot about, like, just the fucking state of the industry.
Yeah. Good piece here. Let me double check this guy. Editor-in-chief of Eurogamer, Chris Tapsell, had a pretty good, succinct commentary on the situation. Whole situation is baffling. Why, after 9 years after Destiny's 2 launch, are the next projects so far away in early incubation as to not be able to roll the Destiny 2 team onto them for full production? Why have they not been brought forward with Destiny 2's short of expectations for years? Bungie surely has to be the most stick-in-my-own-bicycle wheel studio out there, amongst a lot of contenders, consistently making incredible stuff, then following that up with something unbelievably self-defeating. I'm not remotely an insider on this, but I just get the strongest whiff of 2 to 5 absolutely terrible decision-makers ruining everything for hundreds of geniuses off of this thing. And yeah, completely agree.
Yeah. I think it's... I've been talking to a coworker about this. I think we're kind of at the last gasp of, like, modern AAA gaming. And that AAA gaming going forward is going to be... it's just going to be more parallel to fucking PC gaming, more than anything.
Yeah. And that has been the thing that I've been reflecting on in this news, is that the AAA space really sucks right now.
Yeah.
But the indie space is thriving.
Indie space, and you know, I'm kind of just at this point where I don't even consider, like, Nintendo in the AAA market anymore, because they're so clearly doing their own fucking thing.
Yeah.
Steam, before they got fucked by the Steam machine going up to $1,000 without a controller, I had really high hopes for them. I was really excited to see what they would do. I think they are not going to make it that far.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. So the thing with the Steam machine, they call it, right? Steam machine.
Yeah.
Is that if it wouldn't have been even tenable from the start, I don't think they would have released it.
Do you think they still have faith?
I think that they have been planning around this for a very long time, and it was worse than they might have hoped it turned out to be. But that if they didn't think they could put a $1,000 console on the market and have it at least exist being that, not breaking any huge barriers, not being super accessible, but doing what it needs to do at a bare minimum, I don't think they would have released it, because that's just not how Valve is. They don't frankly half-ass a lot of things.
Fair.
And because of that, they tend not to do a lot of things. But when they do something, it's usually really, really well made. And it exists for some reason.
Fair.
And maybe the reason that this exists isn't what most people hoped it would be, but I hope it'll find something else that it can exist for. And maybe in a couple of years, when all this shit hopefully is better, we'll be able to have a $700 Steam machine that actually kind of rips.
Okay, I agree with you. I think we will see a $700 Steam machine when AI is properly popped.
Yeah.
A lot of tech stocks go down in valuation. And I think the most important thing, once Valve has had time to refine the design, get better cost-effective material, and then there's just a lot more out there in the world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That being said, I worry about how they'll weather the storm.
Yeah.
Which, I mean they're already sold out, so they're weathering.
Valve is weathering it by somehow still being allowed to do their gambling stuff.
There, I keep fucking forgetting about that.
Yeah. The CS:GO loot boxes, they will not ever run out of money as long as that remains legal.
Did you hear about Nintendo?
Not particularly.
So we have Destiny being shut down, Bungie basically being a no-show, Sony is freaking out. The $1,000 Steam machine. Xbox is there's those rumors that they're going to sell the brand, which I don't know whether that really matters or not.
No, I doubt that. They did announce that they're jacking up prices this week, which
yes, you're right about
I think
that.
that's an element of the Steam machine that is a bit lost right now, is that as fucked up as it is to say, consoles are probably a pretty good deal right now if you look at the actual hardware inside them.
Oh yeah, for like something pre-made that's that's guaranteed to run anything you get for it on it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's the intrinsic value to consoles.
If the problems that we're seeing right now don't fix themselves by the time Sony needs to release the PlayStation 6, it's going to be $1,000 machine too. There's just no avoiding that.
So do you want to know what Papa Nintendo is going through at times like this?
What's that?
I raise you that Papa Nintendo, one second, I'm trying to get the fucking link in here. They had to make a terrible decision, and they decided to give all their employees a 10% raise. How horrible. Good. Yeah.
Good. I'm sure they deserve it. They're making Nintendo so much fucking money.
It was very funny to me to see them do that. Yeah.
It's probably closer to cost of living adjustments than most people would like.
Oh, for Japan? Yeah. Yeah.
And I bet if you looked at that same metric at a place like Sony, for their first-party developers, they've probably done something similar recently.
I wouldn't be too surprised. I think it's just a matter of
probably more like at the tune of like 5%, but still not zero.
The irony that this comes after they announced that Switch 2 has a price increase coming our way is not lost on me.
But shout out to Nintendo for saying it's coming later. It's not here today.
Yeah. What was
They're
it,
the only one I've
September?
seen do that, and that is super legit. Saying like, look, if you want to get one now, get it now. This is when it's going to go up.
Yeah.
I think that's very valid and a much more reasonable way than like what was the Xbox price increases? $100, $150?
I think it was 100 across the board, at least 100 across the board.
I thought it was 150 on the top end one, but let me double check that.
Yeah, no, you could be right on that. I honestly, I saw a 6 go to a 7, and I got really pissed and walked away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Xbox Series S is up $100 from $399 to now $499. The 1 terabyte version of that is $150 more expensive, $449 to $599. The Series X is up $150 from $599 to $749, and the 1 terabyte version of that is up $150 as well, from $649 to $799. The 2 terabyte version has been discontinued entirely.
Mm.
The real just delicious nugget that I took out of this news was Microsoft having to admit that the price that they have to pay for memory is 2.5 times more than what it was at the end of last year, and that is largely their own fault.
Isn't it though? It is kind of funny that Microsoft gets inflicted with all this. They hurt themselves in confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did not think. And this is not just going to like just apply to Xbox. It's going to apply to their other markets as well. It's their own damn fault.
It is interesting. Apparently, Microsoft is also increasing the ability of refurbished Xboxes.
Weird.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. But yeah, Nintendo is, they have problems, but as far as the big three goes, they're clearly, I would say, the most, maybe not ethical, but sensible, relatable. People like them.
I do think they are the most likable. That's also probably because they don't play like the others.
Yep.
Yeah, they play a very different game. They're kind of in that sweet spot like Disney, where like they do attach to people like very young, and they do get a lot more benefit of the doubt. Because people always have those nostalgia colored glasses.
Absolutely. Before we go on to movies, I do want to point out, because there's been a lot of people announcing that they lost their jobs at Bungie. Most of it has been pretty frustrating, sad kind of stuff, but most of these people seem like they're going to be landing on their feet. But I want to point out the way that one particular now ex-Bungie game designer goes by Viscountess Vermin on Blue Sky announced that they had been a part of the layoffs. Bungie and Sony deemed me too powerful to continue working for them, and fearing for their lives, have loosed me upon the world.
Now that's marketing.
That's just excellent.
Yeah. Those cowards couldn't handle my contributions to the company. So in their best interest of job security, they let me go. So movies, you say?
Some movies, only a couple. There's what, 2?
Oh
that
no!
I had heard of.
I just realized we have to talk about the big one. Fuck.
Yeah. Before we get to that, though, I did want to point out how it was kind of cute. Last week when we were off, there's basically nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing really came out, but I do kind of love those weeks because it gives you a chance to see what else. For the intrepid movie reviewer who they had to put a column out, right? They got to do something. What did they spend their time with that week? And apparently, judging by the fact that these were the only 2 movies on Rotten Tomatoes that had enough reviews to get a fresh or a rotten rating at all, that meant either seeing Welcome to the Jungle, a 2-hour and 50-minute action comedy. It has no description. I have never seen that on Rotten Tomatoes before. They just didn't put a description on it. It's a Hindi Indian movie. It's doing fine. It's an action comedy. It literally doesn't matter. The other one is, I believe, also another Hindi Indian movie called Cocktail 2. None of this matters. Name.
Yeah.
I just found it really funny that those were the only 2 movies that had even like a thin veneer of somebody cared about this enough to leave a review. So this week, we actually have 3 movies to talk about. First one, quickly going through Girls Like Girls, based on writer-director Hayley Kiyoko's hit single and best-selling novel of the same name, and featuring new music from Kiyoko. Girls Like Girls is a heartfelt coming-of-age story set over the course of one sun-drenched summer where a new girl in town, Coley, falls in love for the first time while learning to accept herself along the way. 85% from critics, 91% from audiences.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not bad.
Yeah.
To look at some movies that you might have heard about, the first one is apparently they made a new Jackass movie.
Yes.
Jackass Best and Last, and I guess it doesn't suck.
You know, okay, so I'm kind of reconciling. I've seen clips of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it is triggering the 8-year-old boy in me that fucking loved the Jackass movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I am kind of going through a small renaissance, and I'm very scared about that. This is what fucking Carl Jung meant by, like, discovering the self as an adult as their own inner child. I'm discovering my love of the Jackass movies again. I'm gonna make a letterbox account that just reviews the Jackass movies. And then, like, anytime something is not a Jackass movie, 1 star, does not have any Jackass content.
If Johnny Knoxville has a cameo, you can give it 2 stars.
Yes, there we go. I love that.
So, 88% from critics, 85% from audiences. Seems fine.
Yeah. I really wish my fiance would come see this with me. You're all probably wondering, well, don't you want her to marry you? Like, no one who goes to see a fucking Jackass movie together get married. And I'm like, no, I want to be the first. He already made his budget back. That's so nice.
Mm-hmm. Of course, the big one we have to talk about, I guess, is Supergirl.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's pretty mid.
Super mid.
It's disappointing, isn't it?
It really is when you have a franchise this young. Like, I know there's other DCU shit out there, but, like, the normal person, which is to say myself, who is not, like, following this too closely like I did the MCU, I only know Superman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know that horse drawing meme?
Yeah.
That feels like this. Where you have James Gunn come out and be like, we're going to do this incredible thing. We're going to draw a horse. It's going to be great. They've tried to draw horses before in this style, and they haven't really done it, but we're going to have this, singular vision. It's going to be from the top down, and I'm going to make sure it's great. And then they start drawing the horse, and it's like, holy shit, he did it. We're back. And then he got to the front half of the horse, and it's already over.
I do think they got a little greedy with going to a Supergirl movie next. Because, like... And I don't want to make this sound like the sexist part, but it's like, you're kind of double dipping into the Superman mythos right away, instead of going to, like, Wonder Woman or, like, Batman, like the other big powerhouses. Yep. I think, like, double dipping into the Superman mythos was very greedy.
I do find it fascinating because I can also see a world where we look back on this in 10 years.
Okay.
And this isn't the next Justice League, but we look at it the same way that you would the Incredible Hulk. Where they stumbled as they were trying to get their feet underneath them, and they didn't quite have everything figured out, and then they figured out those problems and did better from there on.
I would like to live in that world.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And if we learned anything from Superman, so you gotta have hope.
Do you, though?
No, but I'm not writing off the gun experiment just yet.
No, no, no. I think this is just the beginning, and like I'd rather they flop something like this than to flop something more critical, like the eventual Justice League movie.
Yeah.
Because like we still have.
No, go ahead.
We still have the Clayface movie this year, which is interesting. Yes. And then fucking Superman 2, which again, a little greedy, but I'll let it fly. Because we had like 2 Iron Man movies before the Avengers, so whatever. Yeah. Then Batman, Swamp Thing, Wonder Woman. That's like all we have announced, which I'll let it fly.
I was going to say, I don't think the biggest problem with this movie is the Wonder Woman part of it. It's that they're leaning into the space alien stuff too quick.
Yes.
Normies don't get that about comics, and they still don't. Even with Guardians of the Galaxy, I bet there's a significant number of people that just think that's its own thing, completely detached from the rest of the Marvel stuff.
It kind of is, though. I think...
So far, yeah.
Yeah. I think James Gunn knows when he's got a good thing, and those Guardian movies are like one of the few perfect trilogies in the MCU, right?
Yeah. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah. It's like one of the 3 good ones. So...
And it works really well once you do get to Endgame to have it be like, oh, they're actually here interacting with the rest of the Marvel people now. Isn't that weird and quirky? And it is, because we hadn't seen that really before.
Yeah, there's novelty to it.
Yeah.
I think when you have Supergirl like this, it does feel like you're kind of banking on that Guardian prestige. I think Superman did a very good job of balancing like that Guardian's prestige of like just weird James Gunn shit, and then like layering like this Christopher Reeves-esque interpretation of the character. Mm-hmm. Overall, I think that was very well calculated. This just kind of feels like we're following up because we need a filler. Not like a filler, but like we need something to fill in the slot.
Yeah. It's been, what, a year, 18 months since Superman?
Yeah.
Has it been 2 years? That's been 2 years, has it? No, it's just coming up on a year.
Yeah.
So we're coming up on a year. That's when you do your next superhero movie, when you do these big superhero universes.
They didn't want to fucking just let Spider-Man Brand New Day just sweep the box office. Which, by the way, there's a new Spider-Man movie, and I still can't get over that.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird? I feel like they've been very low-key about this.
I guess so. I kind of get that to a degree, but yeah, it is still a little bit weird. I think that Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to make Supergirl look especially awkward in that it is exploring weird comic shit in a much more approachable way. Where
I was going to say more confident.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we've had like weird ninja kind of stuff basically since the inception with Batman Begins, right?
Yep.
It opens on that. So people kind of have that association already where it's like, oh yeah, there's, ninjas and crime syndicates and stuff that are out here doing weird stuff, being weird little guys. We got that a little bit in Endgame with Hawkeye's story, his interlude, right? We got that a little bit from some of the Doctor Strange movies where we start to see some of the more mysticism side, and heavily with Shang-Chi. So I feel like that is a way more approachable thing than jumping straight to aliens.
Yeah. I think it's very sobering to remember that the last Spider-Man movie was the one where they were into the fucking multiverse, and we had every previous live-action Spider-Man show up.
Yeah.
And we're going down to this, which is it's almost refreshing in a way, right? Because like this feels more graspable and less like they're going after my nostalgia dollars.
I do agree. I think the big thing for me is going to be how they handle Peter being nobody to anybody at this point.
Yeah. I want this movie to be fucking depressing.
Right? It's a really good idea, and they could fuck it up so many different ways.
I want it to
But
be.
if they land it.
Yeah. What?
No, just if they land it, they'll really stick it and it'll be good.
Yeah. I want it to be like Spider-Man 2 levels of just like, let's shit on Peter Parker's life.
Mm-hmm.
We have got to make this kid bleed. And supposedly we do not have any information about who the main villain of this movie is, which I think is very sobering. All we know is there's a Spider-Man and there's Ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And awkward. That's the thing for me, right? Is that we've seen in the trailers a little bit of like Peter and Bruce Banner interacting, and Bruce being just like, "Who the fuck are you?"
Yeah.
And then you have Peter and MJ and Ned and similar interactions. I want more of that. Like, I don't want it to devolve into like rom-com territory. Right? That's my fear. I don't want it to be like goofy and silly. I want it to be like Peter is fucking depressed because his old life is gone and the last movie mattered.
I would like this movie to have like a little bit of a not like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde complex, but I would love to see Peter put on like the Spider-Man mask and have like a total 180 in personality where he's not fucking depressed and just, "Hi, I'm Goofy Spider-Man, everybody." No one needs to know that Spider-Man cries.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good heart for this movie. Which would also really work out with the fucking Bruce Banner Hulk shit that they're putting in this movie.
Yes. I could also see it being a really interesting thing of, do you remember in, was it Amazing Spider-Man 1? Garfield 1, where he starts to get like really mean with being Spider-Man?
Oh, yes, he's like a jackass.
Yeah, I think it would be really fascinating to like see that explored in a way that makes sense, where he's not just being an asshole to be an asshole, but like Peter starts to get a little bit more reckless, a little bit less careful when he's doing his stuff, and it takes someone like Hulk to be able to come over and be just like, "Dude, what the fuck? Cut this shit out. We're better than this. What are you doing?
You're Spider-Man. You gotta be a man about this." And I feel a little guilty now that we're talking about a movie that's coming out in a month when we're meant to be talking about Supergirl.
Yeah, man,
loss. It's an aura loss.
It's a shame. It's a real shame. I was reading through the little synopsis that they have on Rotten Tomatoes again, and it's just not the right time for this.
That's unfortunate.
Reluctantly joins forces with an unlikely companion on an epic interstellar journey of vengeance and justice. I don't know.
I know. I don't want to. I will watch it when it comes to streaming. I don't want to go to a theater for this.
Yeah. Oh, no shot. Yeah. See, that's the thing that's been real. I have my popcorn maker now, so I don't have to go to the movie theater for anything anymore. And it's kind of freeing.
Look at me, I'm so fucking cool. I got a fucking popcorn. I bet you have the fucking seasoning salt, the special ones too, that they have from the movie theaters.
Oh, I don't have seasoning salt, but I did buy legit Flavor Ball, yeah.
Oh my.
Dude, no, I worked
cool.
in the fucking kitchen of a zoo for a year, so I know this shit. I know if you don't get the real deal, you're just buying garbage.
Wait, so you worked in a zoo kitchen?
Oh yeah.
We lived together for like 3 years. I'm just learning this, ladies and gentlemen.
Really? Yeah, I worked in one of the cafes at Binder Park Zoo for a summer.
At Binder Park Zoo? That's so funny. The infamous Sam did a 5K at Binder Park yesterday, so she was just down there.
It's a great place.
It is a nice place. It is a good zoo.
It is.
I've got to be partial to my John Ball though, because like I've got a little bit of a special relationship with that one now, being like a GR citizen.
No, that's fair. People are allowed to make objectively wrong decisions because of emotions.
You know,
No, John Paul's great.
what was it like working in a zoo kitchen? Because like this is a very specific, and I can imagine it being rather nightmarish.
It's not nearly as bad as you would expect. It's really no different than doing food service literally anywhere else. You're making burgers, you're frying things.
How old were you?
I would have been. What year was that? I was still in high school.
Okay.
It was after I was at the point where I didn't want to keep doing like detasseling fieldwork stuff, but I really couldn't like do a proper full-time job because I was still in school. So I think it was probably my junior, senior year of high school.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm learning so much about.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy to me. You ever kill a person?
No.
Okay, I never thought I would have to ask, but you know, things are being learned today. Did you ever know a guy named Jeff Epstein?
Jeff Epstein. Who's that? I've never heard of them before. I don't know what you're talking about.
Whoosh. Oh, thank goodness.
But no, the zoo was cool. It was surprisingly boring at times. Like you had rushes, of course.
Yeah.
But the biggest novelty of it was that like I got to wear the same, uniform as the rest of the zoo people, which was kind of cool. It was fun. And to get to the spot that I worked, I had to take the tram to get there every day, back and forth, which was kind of fun. So, yeah.
You want to know what else was fun? We literally regressed all the way back to your fucking high school senior job instead of talking about Supergirl.
There's nothing more to say.
It's just funny.
I don't know.
I'm a bastard, but this is so fucking funny to me.
I was thinking about how relatively mediocre Jason Momoa's recent stuff has been.
Isn't it weird?
Yeah.
Like, the Minecraft movie kind of set the bar.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know he was in Supergirl.
I knew briefly, because like that was like the big thing. They wanted to recast Jason Momoa in the DCU.
Why?
Because he wanted to play Lobo instead of Aquaman all this time.
But why? That's so weird.
He likes Lobo. Can't a boy dream?
I'm not upset. I'm just a little disappointed.
Understandable. He's a good actor. It's just a shame that he's at that point in his career where studios are literally throwing money at him so he doesn't get time to fucking work in good shit.
It would be really funny if this was an intentional play for him to never have to do another DC movie ever again. I'm sorry. I'd love to come back as Aquaman, but I did the Lobo thing. I just can't. It wouldn't be fair to the credit for the audiences.
It wouldn't be fair, no. Do we have anything else for the show?
I think that's all.
Okay. Well, I'm Infamous Orion, and GTA 6 is $80 and you don't even get a fucking disc. What the hell is wrong with you, Rockstar? And I'm Two Schmoes.
I'm Cairo, and I didn't actually know that. And I'm
You
also
didn't know? Okay, wait, we're going to add an additional segment here.
Can I let you on a secret?
Yeah.
I don't give a single shit about GTA 6. It's going to release. I'm not going to play it, and my life is going to go on, and I'll be happy.
Okay, I respect that. I respect it because it's the same opinion I had, right? And then I saw the pricing, and it's too fucking funny for me. It is too fucking hilarious how bad the GTA pricing model is. Okay. So, the best thing about
other than it being $80, is there like any other weird pricing stuff going on with it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So, starting off, right? We have the standard edition, which is a digital only purchase. if you buy the box, you're only getting a download code.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Hot take. I don't actually care about that either.
You live a much simpler life.
I guess I care that they're putting out a box for it still. You shouldn't have the box.
No.
Get rid of the box. Or be cool. Make a cool like cardboard box or something. Make it recyclable. That shit's going in the garbage either way. You know this.
Yeah. So
yeah, please continue.
You will get off the wheel in Ascension Nirvana faster than I will. The wheel of Shemarasan? I don't know. I was trying to make a Buddhism jokes. I think Buddhism is absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, Buddhism's cool.
Yeah, Buddhism is cool. Then we have the Ultimate Edition.
Okay.
Now, what do you think you get in the Ultimate Edition?
God. Ultimate Edition,
It could be literally anything, huh?
So, bare minimum, I'm expecting it is going to include whatever like the first DLC equivalent is. Something equivalent to that first DLC, plus some sorts of exclusive cosmetics to start off in the game, and probably some bullshit currency, because I'm sure they have a cash shop that you can buy more shit from. Beyond that, man, can I get a hint? Can I ask a question?
You can ask the question.
Is there edition above the Ultimate Edition?
That is something I'm trying to confirm right now. I want to say there might be one, but I swear there was one, but I can't find it.
If there's like an even more collectorable edition above this, I'm saying that's it. It's got digital garbage that you don't actually need, that hits you with a little dopamine rush when you get to see your car have a neat little paint job. And then you get the first DLC included in the purchase price.
Okay, so there's two editions. There is the standard edition, and then there is the Ultimate Edition. With the standard edition, you get Grand Theft Auto 6, something called the Vice City Vintage Pack, in 1 month, a GTA Online Premium.
They have GTA Online Premium?
I guess there's like a little plus sign by it. I don't give a fuck. I play fucking JRPGs like Final Fantasy. I'm out of my wheelhouse right now. I did not have a social childhood. Okay. Let's see here. For the Ultimate Edition, I really hate how terrible they made it so you can't tell what the fuck you're even buying.
Yeah.
You get what is called the Ultimate Edition upgrade. What this is a 1995 Grody Cheetah. Grody? A Hawk and Little Morgan revolver in-game. I'd hope. Don't fucking give people guns. A personalized weapons variant. Tattoos hairstyle kit for cosmetics. Jason's safe house vehicles. Fuck. Retro build injects some muscle and classic styling into Jason's well-worn lowrider. Okay. I guess it's just color customization shit.
Yeah, so it seems like you get a car, a pair of revolvers, a truck, about what they call a mod kit.
Yeah.
Access to special tires, some hair salon. I mean, there is a lot of stuff, but it is all digital things.
I feel like these are all going to be priced out individually if you get the standard edition.
Yep.
That being said, you also get another free month of GTA Plus online.
Nice. It looks like there's a couple of like mission type things.
Actual content?
Yes. But I don't play GTA Online, so I don't know what most of this means. It is weird that there's apparently, like, I guess parts of these are just like stores, like whole ass stores in the world that you have to give Rockstar another $20, or you just can't access them at all.
This is bullshit. This is the ear infection of premium gaming. I'm Miss Orion, and my ear fucking hurts.
And I'm Kyril, and I'm also a schmo.
And this has been the Two Schmoes Show.